Oh dear, she's lost another two belts this time. Oh, which also means that's two boats this time, which must be sad because she was over in Europe and I'm sure she would have loved to have had all of her boats in the Mediterranean, but oh well. Mercedes Monet has the potential, the very big potential, of returning to our dear AEW. No longer a captain nor a champion. So, what is new in your life? Have you lost any belts and or parts? Um, just before we get into it, I really enjoyed the Jibber Jabber. It's a long one, I know, but it's a fun episode of the Jibber Jabber, all about the Eve and talking with Shane, and it was absolutely fun. So, don't be scared by the length of it. Just chuck me on, and then I'll just be there jabbering away. It's so much fun. Hello, by the way. I'm Bex. Hi. And this is Don't Call Moi Diva. Well, me, not moi, but you get what I'm saying. And we are only going to talk AEW and affiliated women's wrestling. So if you're not affiliated or in the orbit, you're gonna miss out. I'm sorry. You just don't. I don't make the rules of my own show that I made the rules of. We also, by the way, speaking of rules, keep this show in the realm of kayfabe fun times and a lot of delusion, you may have noticed. And in doing so, we have created quite a lot of lore here. So this is episode 42. And if you are new, you are going to want to know more about me and why we are doing all of this. So go check out episode 1, okay? And then binge the rest to catch up to this one. Because why the fuck not? And if you don't, you won't know the hell's going on. Stop literally everything, okay? The gorgeous patron saint. Ah, don't call me diva. Mm. Layla Gray. She's had a surgery. Oh, she's back home with her amazing hubby and puppy. Already, she has started physical therapy and she'll be appearing at the Las Vegas. The Las Vegas? I think I said this last time. There is only one Las Vegas, and it is it. The Las Vegas WrestleCon in April, which is like the weekend of like the 17th to the 18th. And one of y'all out there has to be going. One of you, surely. Okay, so you've got to go for us. Okay? Just take us with you. I would really appreciate it because, you got to say hi from us to the girl, the woman of the hour. Okay? We'd love you forever. All right. Now go heal up now, Miss Layla Gray. And we hope to see you back in the ring soon. Very, very excited. And other very, very excited, where have they been for ages? Speaking of wrestlers who have been on for a while, 2 years, in fact, Ruby Soho will be at the NostalgiaCon in Houston in April, and I am really hoping that this is building to a return to the ring. And with all the chitter chatter going on about who attacked Tony Timeless Storm, some people in the I'm gonna be rigid. The Frank journalist world, not asking the interesting questions, I have to say, or they are asking the interesting questions in a very dumb way. They're going on with like who, will fill the spot of 2026. That's what they're focusing on. Who is going to fill these spots now that Timeless Tony Storm is no longer in the picture? And I'm like, excuse me, you are looking in the wrong directions. This is not a bad thing at all. In fact, this is a very interesting little development that has opened up in the AEW timeline. Instead, of asking who's going to fill Tony Storm's shoes, we should be asking who has the most to gain from timeless Tony Storm being out of action for so long. It's very, like, the entire rest of the year. No more Storm. Now, if our forbidden door was truly forbidden, then I'd love to just run away with the whole idea that it's Mariah May's alter ego, Blake Monroe. Now, when I read that, when I was writing that, I generally blinked on her name for like a second, and like no shade on that. It was just really, you know, an angle of her never being able to let go. And even though she is like over here, she saw Timeless still thriving at the top of her game. And so she sent someone to take her down. But we know that can't happen because we don't have a real forbidden door. But with a certain Miss Ruby Soho now floating around, another member of the Outcasts who Tony turned on. Tony sprayed spray paint in the face of Ruby Soho. She would have a reason to take her out. And the mean streak she still would be carrying over from her outcast days would not be gone if we followed along on this. In fact, if anything, it could have grown darker and darker. So that's interesting. Of course, we also have the good bad Dr. DMD, Miss Dr. Britt Baker. When she came back to the ring to update us all on her legit, like real, terrifying real life health issues, the fans, you people, I'll never forget, did not give her the respect she very well deserved when she was informing us. We had Timeless now, and everyone just forgot about DMD and what she did for them. And also, you were running away with these horrendous lies that she cheated on a dear, dear Mr. Cole. You fickle people. Anna Jay and Ty Mello also have a reasonable gripe if they so happened to have felt discarded in the tag team division. They were the only OG tag team from the first ever tag team tournament, and they had to watch the Timeless Love Bombs become boundlessly more popular than what they are. Hikaru Shida, there were a lot of shenanigans in their last match for Shida's World Championship. Timeless removed Shida's boot during the match and tried to hit her with it. This was not a hardcore match. Shida then grabbed a kendo stick, the kendo stick that she always brings with her, and tried to whack Timeless with it on the outside. But Luther blocked the swing, so she instead cracked him over the back multiple times after kicking him in the nuts first. Timeless Tony Storm was not done. She yoinked a metal plate from something. It looked like I don't know, it's just like a very weird like serving dish, but perfectly fit around her butt cheek. And she loaded her butt with it. So when she came to do the hip attack on Shida, that helped her win the world championship from her. Very dastardly, not clean at all. Shida never got her rematch for her title either, which she would have very rightly have deserved, considering all of these shenanigans. And she has not been seen on AEW telly since November 2024, which is a criminal in itself. Has Thunder Rosa perhaps stopped playing nice? Tony took her reign away from her when she became the world champion and was no longer the interim, and has yet to reclaim Thunder has yet to reclaim the title back. Thunder Rosa, as we all know, is a very passionate wrestler, and sometimes passionate wrestlers do crazy, unhinged shit. Triangle of Madness. I mean, they could have always been in the right place at the wrong time, Tony, and just took advantage of the situation. Riho, Riho heel turn. Persephone asserting her dominance. Yuka's Sakazaki's conjuring out Oni inside of her, and trying to murder Tony Storm. Queen Aminata coming back to take them all out one by one because she is the one and only, and none of those bitches checked in on her when she was attacked. Well, not attacked, but injured. And don't forget Mother Wayne, who could have just been mothering all over this place just for shits and giggles. Let's not forget Penelope Ford could be releasing some pent-up aggression, as she rightly should be. Taya Valkyrie's also hanging around, and she's just a plain old dastardly heel, so you can never really rule her out of any kind of like shenanigans. Athena and her minions in training could absolutely be behind this. Our forever champ, the ROH World Champion, the fallen goddess, the minion overlord, the American Joshi, as of this day of recording of 12,001 days, Athena has many reasons to bring chaos to the AEW women's division, and taking out Toni Storm would definitely take out a top contender for the World Championship. And Camille, hey, where the fuck is Camille? We all forget about Camille, but she's still here. Could have Mercedes Moné called upon her to take out Timeless before she returns to AEW to battle for the World Championship. Just like for Athena, that would be very smart to do. Or, could it have even been her faithful butler, Luther? There are so many fun angles you could just be running around with. But no, I'm going to focus on who's going to take the top spot. No. Have some fucking fun. You're talking about scripted, fake, fun wrestling. Have some freaking fun. Go with any of those. And of course, we have our very tippy top suspects. Marina, I was going to say even Ronda, but apparently Ronda was meant to be and then go. There's a whole thing there. We're not getting into that. That's way too real. We cannot be asked. And of course, Mina. All suspicious, but for many different reasons. But it could even be some dastardly character from another company. And speaking of dastardly members of another company, were Cruella de Vil, invisible jizz-flinging menace Alexis Falcon, who currently holds the Progress Women's Championship for Progress Wrestling. The title, who was first held and also made glorious by Toni Storm herself. Not so much she might have had something to do with it, but there's all these connections. All these connections because Toni has also done a lot of stuff overseas. I don't know. I just reckon we've got a whole year until we're going to be seeing Toni Storm again. Like, it could literally be like a whole year from now. Let's just have some fun. Let's see what goes on. Let's see what people do with it. There's no worry. I'm not worried. Shit's gonna get fun. Like I said, year of the characters, baby. Let's bring them on. Our amazing Alexis Falcon is definitely a freaking character. Jesus Christ. She has continued on her winning streak from, as we spoke on last week's episode, and has gained her biggest victory to date. I don't think saying that is at all derogatory towards her, and has defeated the amazing Mercedes Moné for not only her Body Slam women's title, but also her DW women's title at the recent Rev Pro High Stakes in Wolverhampton in England. Now, you may not know this, but Alexis Falcon is on her own belt collecting journey, either intentionally or just happens to. And she now has five, plus now a boat. She has also the ability to challenge for any title in Eve. So she has the potential of having six reasonably soon. Mercedes, on the other hand, is now down to her APAC, WPW, and PTW Women's Championships. Mercedes is rocking some very cool battle gear for this battle. It's white, yellow with some fishnets and sparkles. It's very cool. She looks awesome in yellow. Alexis is a fucking menace, as we have discussed. She is such a shit. An absolute perma heel of dramatic proportions. I don't think this woman is ever not going to be a heel in her entire life, and I love that. Mercedes tries to fully, but Falcon is having none of that and piss asses about being highly disrespectful all over the place. Monet puts a stop to all of that and makes Alexis pay with a Ultimo Monet train of devastating wrestling moves from her massive arsenal. Alexis gets knocked a little loopy, but she still manages to have some sense to grab onto the ropes and escapes Monet's clutches. Falcon eats a lot of punishment from Monet until she finally gets to slip out of the way through the ropes and she cracks Mercedes in the head. Alexis shifts into attack mode and Monet feels a crack of a knee to the side of her face. Falcon is activated and she is feeling herself. She stomps on Monet's skull and split kicks her in the head as Monet is hanging over the middle rope. Now, Alexis, what would you call it? Pussy twerks, maybe? Would that be the term? I'm not quite too sure. Maybe like pussy slams down onto the apron or split-legged and bouncy in time to imaginary music while she mockingly does the CEO dance. She's a fucking menace, I'm telling you. Alexis takes her time with hurting Monet, but makes a mistake by using Mercedes as her tool and messing around with the crowd, and she gets drop kicked to the back of the head by the CEO. Throughout this match, Alexis Falcon keeps coming back with her power and her ability to eat a lot of pain. Mercedes Monet must put her steel jaw to the test. Mercedes gains control with her multiple devastating meteoras, but Alexis blocks her attempt at Three Amigos. She, have you noticed, hasn't been able to execute those as of late. Both women were fully activated, proving it to be very difficult for either of them to keep the other one down for the entire three in this tough battle. Mercedes could not defeat the dastardly deeds of Alexis Falcon either, and after a skirmish for the belts that were up for grabs, you see, Alexis Falcon just kind of snuck out and grabbed the belts. Mercedes sets Falcon up for the Monet Maker. It's behind the ref's back. Falcon heel kicks Mercedes in the JJ and then nails her skull with the Falcon Fury DDT, which is like a reverse STO with like an extra wind up into the remaining championship that was still in the ring. And that was how Alexis Falcon defeated the CEO Mercedes Moné. 100% by dastardly deeds. But hey, she's a heel. She's a man too. And if you're going to be able to distract a ref right there, why not? I mean, the belt was still in the ring afterwards. The ref very likely would have been like, hey, but bless the refs. They do their best, but they don't catch a lot, especially when you've got a seasoned heel professional as Alexis Falcon. Congratulations, Alexis Falcon. You have defeated the amazing Mercedes Moné. You now have 5 belts to your collection. I had a little looksy to see if anything had been booked for Monet recently. There aren't anything coming up. Nothing's coming up as of the recording of this show. But considering things are happening quite regularly, every single weekend or two, we could be seeing another one show up. Oh, no. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa to yourself. Now, where am I? I am scrolling down. Here I am. I rabbit on and I don't scroll and I lose where I am. Lost my mind. And you may notice me at a slight lean. The bag is very sore. Leave me alone. Just now. We were meant to have the timeless Toni Storm versus Marina Shafir in a no holds barred match on Dynamite. But as we had previously discussed earlier in this episode, Timeless was taken out and left laying in a pool of her own blood with multiple hardcore memorabilia strewn about the place. It was like the gold chair that Megan Bain used. There was the Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron? No. Harley. 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 Now all I can think of is Harley. The fuck is that character's name? Harley Quinn. I'm here. The Harley Quinn mallet that also had Megan's name on it too. The strap. We had sneakers. We had a barrage of different things. Now all I'm thinking of is the something completely irrelevant, and we just need to come back here and try and thinking of things. But there's a lot of clues laying around. Sid, come on, you like journalists in air quotes of a fake thing going on. Have some fun with it. Be fun. Be fun. Mina Shirakawa is convinced it was Marina. Just as half of the wrestling world currently is suspecting Mina herself, and will be taking Toni's place in this no holds barred match, which means, like we now have to fight the mental gymnastics it will take for me to say Mina and Marina over and over again without it turning into Menina. So here's hoping I have put their last names in here to give me a refresher. Marina, as always, until the dawn of time, was the first wrestler to come out for our first match of time. This was obviously before I read what was like not is going on with Ronda, so I totally expected to see Ronda coming out with her for this match, but she just comes out on her own. Marina shadow boxes and talks shit on her way to the ring, as is tradition. There is a what went down earlier segment that for some reason, like I thought Triller app had gone kind of funky wonky because these things happen. But it completely cuts off as soon as like on Triller, as soon as Mina gets the mic to like say the thing that she said that leads up to this whole like her taking Toni Storm's place, which I thought was really weird. I really want to know the reason behind that. And we just like hard cut to like Marina saying stuff. We scoot back to the ring just in time to see Marina and her rippling back muscles try and take out one of the announce team with her socks. Marina is in a casual green cargo pant with a top and ready to roll. Mina's music hits, but this is no time for dancing. Mina stomps out to the entrance stage with a barbed wired wrapped baseball bat in hand, and she unleashes a battle cry of war. Mina is in her very gorgeous blue sparkly gear that looks amazing on her, but the sparkle from her heart has definitely diminished, and she is 100% focused on hurting Marina. Mina swings the barbed wire bat at Marina and finally gets her good right in the back of her thigh. A pissed off Marina absorbs another blow from the bat, disarms Mina, and then judos the living fuck out of her. Marina lets out some verbal frustrations and then she grabs the bat. Mina drop kicks the plans out of Marina's hands and then delights the problem by kicking her repeatedly in the back. Marina was like a literal lunatic between cries of pain and yells at Mina for more. Mina, never one to leave someone unsatisfied, obliges and kicks her even harder. Mina drop kicks her in the side of the face and then rolls out of the ring in search of weapons. Mina finds multiple bottles of champagne and tries to smash the bottle over Marina's head, but she judos out of harm's way and then attempts to rip Mina's arm out of its socket. The boos rain down onto Marina, and she just basks in their glory whilst also flipping them all off. Marina steals a hard-working security man's chair and brings it into the ring. Mina elbows a barrel of absolute nopes into Marina's face, but it doesn't get her out of trouble. And Mina gets slammed down onto that steel chair. Marina slams her down into the steel chair again and then grabs the champagne bottle for a celebratory swig. Shafir opens the bottle in the correct way, which delighted me to absolutely no end, takes a massive swig, intimidates the ref, and then goes back to hurting Mina with some nasty elbows to the chest. Marina takes another swig of the bottle and spits out a mouthful into Mina's face. Mina instantly returns that with a stinging slap to Marina's face. Mina's activated, pissed, and starts laying in stiff shots to Marina's chest and jaw. The champagne bottle goes flying and liquid goes everywhere. It lands perfectly on his ass and just goes, pshung. Mina tries to whack Marina in the head with the steel chair, but Marina ducks it just in time and makes Mina drop the chair. Marina throws Mina into the ropes and she comes back with a tilt-a-whirl DDT onto the steel chair she dropped, and Mina unleashes a battle cry from the ovaries. A drop kick off the top ropes, and now Marina is in danger. Marina cracks her with the steel chair and flies off the top rope again, but this time with a sling blade back down onto the steel chair. After a beautiful springboard tornado turns slightly south for Mina, she gets grabbed. Oh, when Marina uses that opportunity, don't you ooh in there. When Marina uses this opportunity to lock on Mother's Milk, but Mina thankfully escapes by gouging the eyes of Shafir, which I sure must have been really satisfying for Shirakawa. Shifakawa? Who's Shifakawa? Must have been very satisfying for Shirakawa. And something other wrestlers should take into consideration next time they find themselves into a very similar situation of Mother's Milk. Go for the eyes. Everyone wants to gouge the eyes of Marina Shafir. Marina rolls out to the floor, pissed and in pain. She reaches under the ring and pulls out a table to the crowd's delight. Mina have some fisticuffs on the apron, and then Marina grabs Shirakawa by the wrist, pulls her in very quickly, and without hesitation suplexes both of them through the table. Marina ends up taking the table out, but Mina hits the floor hard. When they get back into the ring, Shafir tries to pin Mina, but she kicks out at two, which equally stuns, impresses, and frustrates Marina Shafir. This frustration would lead her to take it out on the ref, which allows Mina to grab another champagne bottle, and Shirakawa smashes it across Marina's jaw. Mina pulls Shafir into the Storm Zero, pauses to call out to Toni Storm, and then drives Marina's head into the mat. Mina is emotional. She is spent. She is relieved. Mina hugs the ref, who has no idea what to do, and then raises her arm in victory. Mina cusses out Marina's unconscious body and then raises her guns in victory once more, climbing the rope to make sure everyone sees it. Now, that looked pretty real on the emotional side of Mina Shirakawa. It could be a ruse, but it could just be the fact that I'm like, everyone's pushing towards Mina. It seems like obvious in the whole like bigger storytelling kind of thing. But I would like to just allow myself to kind of put that to the side, keep her in my mind as like, you know, the poor grieving, well, she's not dead, but you know, lover who wants revenge. And it's one of the other crazy kooks on the division or another division. Honestly, though, wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if it was Mariah May? I mean, we can fanfic that. But moving on. The remarkable in an oversized denim, Renee Paquette has the pleasure of getting the scoops from El Idolo, but they get interrupted by that menace, John Cruz, and Phone Fellas, so we leave them to him. Slam Dunkers Part 1 of Collision and also Part 2 saw Arcady Aura in a little dress looking absolutely fabulous. Just wanted to point that out. Lexi Nair, with all the hair, rocks a burnt orange silk suit as she gets some words with our toxic world champion, who is also looking stunning in black leather. Tekla sends her toxic thoughts and prayers to Timeless and has a theory of her own about what happened to Miss Storm. A self-sabotage, perhaps. That's an interesting little side note, isn't it? I like that one too. Let's put that on the list of potential possibilities. The toxic world champion is full of evil confidence, and she is ready to see who is going to step up to her next. Are we dreaming? It's Sisters of Sin time! Bear, bear. I love it. It's so much fun. They stalk their way to the ring and complete their fantastic battle entrance. They shall be facing the Brawling Birds! Yosh! Fucking Yosh! Alex Windsor's recent titles have been added to her title card, and she is wearing the New Japan Strong Women's Championship around her waist. Yeah, love it. The Brawling Birds stomp their way to the ring, and they are ready to fight and compete and complete their own battle entrance. I'm like, they're competing for their own battle entrance. Pick up a stipulation. On the outside, it is very clear that this is Sin and not a Hayter and Hart will be facing off against each other to start this fight. Hayter is definitely stronger than Julia, but Julia don't care, and she's going to use her speed and nasty submissions to take Hayter out. Unfortunately, a gorgeous tilt-a-whirl transition into the Manji Gatame fires back on Hart as Hayter powers her into a backbreaker. Jamie tags in Alex, and her first bout of business is to run straight at Blue and uppercuts her apron in the face. They double team up on Hart until Sky gets back into the ring to back up her partner. And then they both get double teamed by the Brawling Birds. Hart finally escapes Windsor's grasp with a lovely jawbreaker and then stumbles backwards into her corner, and Sky tags in. Sky, tough as fuck Blue, squares up to Windsor and they exchange skin blistering chops that escalates to devastating forearms to the chest. Hayter does her teammate a disservice though by accidentally distracting the ref, and a quick thinking Blue rakes at the eyes of Windsor. Sky's urge to then gloat though gave Windsor a chance to rip her head back down into the ring and runs to the ropes. But from a quick thinking Hart, and Hayter messes up again by complaining to the ref about the dastardly deeds being put on by Windsor, by the Sisters of Sin. But as we all know, that will never work, and it just ends up helping them get away with it for longer. Sky uses the ref to block her approach even, and she ends up clobbering Hayter in the mouth, knocking her off the apron, and the crowd goes nuts for this. Why, thank you, Fresno. That indeed deserves some dastardly respect. Thank you very much. Blue stares down the camera with like an evil glare as Hart also applauds her sister of Sin. Sky tags in Julia, and now it's time for some sinful double team fun times for Alex Windsor, who gets the stuffing kicked out of her. Julia rains down forearms into Windsor's face, then takes out Hayter, who has climbed back onto the apron. Windsor tries to punch her way out of Julia's grasp, but Hart forces her back into their own corner and tags in Blue. They double team up on Windsor again with a double split choke until the ref gets them to stop. Hayter has had enough of all this being knocked off the apron and is climbing back into the ring, but Sky sees her coming and once again takes her out, and Hayter gets knocked off of her feet. Sky goes back to choking Windsor with the split kick and gives the ref some sass. We get a cheeky little wink, and then she releases the hold, just so Julia could continue to choke Windsor behind the ref's back. Finally, Windsor manages to find her way out of the Sisters of Sin's corner and races over to her own and tags in an extremely mad Jamie Hayter. Jamie goes on an absolute rampage and chops the life out of Hart and Blue. She sets them up in opposite corners and runs through them with lariats. Hayter then whips Julia into Sky and pancakes them both into the Brawling Birds corner. The darkness descends upon us then because we have a mandatory musical interlude. So I have no idea what happened after that. When we come back we almost have Blue dying via a haterade, but Julia gets into the ring very quickly and Blue ducks it. Hart then nails Hayter with a double-booted soul food, and it's the end of that. Windsor gets into the ring and the sisters try to take her, but Windsor is too strong and collides Hart and Blue's heads together. Shit takes off in the ring. Sky Blue is activated, takes out Windsor and almost Hayter, but Jamie counters the code blue. Blue still manages to twist it around and kicks Hayter in the face with a glorious super kick. Blue unleashes a battle cry from her inner depths, but runs right into the backbreaker from Hayter. Everyone is now laid out kaput on the mat. The Brawling Birds get themselves together quicker than the Sisters of Sin, and Hayter tags in Windsor, who wastes no time in yoinking up Sky for the two birds, one stone. But out of nowhere, Julia drop kicks Jamie Hayter as she is coming off the ropes, and that puts a stop to all of that nonsense. Sisters of Sin activate double team powers and demolish Hayter and Windsor. Julia Hart cannonballs off the apron and crashes through Hayter onto the floor. In the ring, Sky lines up Alex and missiles her knee right through her face. But despite the squishy pin, Alex Windsor can still kick out. Sky screams and slams the mat in frustration. She tries to knock Alex out again with another running knee, but Alex counters and headbutts the folk out of Blue. Windsor picks up Blue and pops her onto the top rope, but Sky hooks her feet and she blocks the incoming avalanche suplex. Blue slips out of Windsor's grasp and successfully slams her into the mat with a glorious avalanche powerbomb. Hart helps her drag Windsor to their corner and Blue tags in Julia. Alex fights out of the attempted double team and lays out Sky with an appropriately named in this situation Blue Thunder Bomb. Windsor tags in Hayter, and now it's Julia who is unfortunately getting demolished. Hart gets taken out by two birds, one stone, and the Brawling Birds defeat the Sisters of Sin. God damn it! They were this close! But the Brawling Birds are a tough team to beat, let's be honest. No matter how experienced you are, you got to admit they're a tough team to beat. And it's not as if Hayter and Jamie Hayter, I'm sure Hayter and Jamie Hayter know each other very well. It's not as if Hayter and Windsor don't know each other extremely well as well. Over in part 2, the Babes of Wrath have challenged Divine Dominion to a rematch for their tag team titles. We have yet to know if they will accept, and we don't know when they want to challenge for them, but they have put it out there. We don't know what is going to happen to our new tag team champions. We don't know yet, but oh, my bad. We do know what's going to happen to our new tag team champions. It's not my fault. Well, it is my fault, but it's because my brain, that too, my back keeps banging. I keep going, wah, and then pain goes, meh, and then my brain goes, ow, and then the ADHD kicks in and it goes, whoopity, 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 whoopity. And part two, the Babes of Wrath have challenged Divine Dominion to a rematch for the tag titles. We do not yet know if they have accepted. This has only just been put out, and they did not say anything after the match. So we still have to see what is going to happen in that regard. But they are out next, and they are going to battle an Alex Garcia and Divine Dominion stand powerful and statuesque on the entrance ramp, with gold in hand and around thy waist. They make their way to the ring as fire erupts on either side and behind them. The gear is stunning. I mean, just look at it. It's so good. Megan has on her tall red feathered crown and her white red chain strapped battle gear of epicness. Lena is in black leather and red. Gorgeous. As their opponents are being introduced, Bane and Cross are getting into the ring and complete their battle entrance. We have already talked about the absolutely cool as fuck Viperous back in episode 20, but this is our first time seeing Alex Garcia. Alex Garcia is from San Antonio, Texas, and has been wrestling for 8 years. She has a background in softball. Alex has been the ROW Women's Champion twice for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, which was formerly Pro Wrestling Alliance. RPW Glamour Champion for Raging Pro Wrestling, a championship actually that was first won by former AEW Tag Tournament winner Eva Lise. And she was the FWA Women's Champion for like a day. In 2020, Alex Garcia had 6 matches on AEW Dark against my co-host Penelope Ford, the previously mentioned Eva Lise, Leva Bates, 2 battles against Nyla Rose, and she also took on former world champion Hikaru Shida. Nyla Rose is also former champion. Alex even got herself a win over a Kylan King. Y'all remember Kylan King when she was in AEW? She went over to TNA and joined with Taylor Wilde to form the Coven. In 2021, she was back for another chunk of battles against Anna Jay, Big Swole, Red Velvet, Ty Conti, Alicia Fox, no, Ashley Vox, Thunder Rosa, and she was demolished by Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, on a Dark Evolution. Evolution? Elevation. That one was not a pain thing. That was all me, baby. Red Velvet would defeat her again on ROH in 23, and Nyla Rose would also defeat her for a third time on Dark. Alex used to be all pink everything up until about a year ago, but now she is doing me the personal favor from like roots to toes. Viperous is standing up to Bane first, and they start this match while the crowd goes, "Metal." Viperous ties her hair up, but gets slammed down to the mat with a Bane shoulder tackle. The Megasis powers Viperous backwards into their corner, and they tag in Lena Cross, who gets into the ring and instantly tags in Bane for the double team. Divine Dominion runs boots through Viperous' face, and both wrestlers stand glorious in the middle of the ring, basking in their glory as the boos come raining down upon them. Cross spies a Garcia and yoinks her into the ring. Bane and Cross grab a wrestler each, click them together in the middle, and then send them flying over their heads with dual fall away slams. A couple of stinger splashes for good measure. Viperous and Alex get some snug decapitators, and then Garcia gets thrown out of the AEW Tag Champions ring. Divine Dominion plant Viperous into the mat, and Bane gets the sexy pin. Bow down to your tag champions. we hope, Penelope Ford, that you are back soon. So you can rejoin the glory that is going to be this trios team. Maybe with a replacement for the Orihara Moonsault, though. Maybe. We are going to end it on there. I am going to give you all a chance to catch up with the epic masterpiece that is episode 41 with the special wonderful guest Shane G, who joins me about halfway through. If you don't know, we talked about the Eve Wrestle Queendom as well, which is an absolute hoot. And this is my other reminder that if you do not know about Wet Cake Wrestling, now you know about Wet Cake Wrestling. Because if I have to know about Stone Cold ET, so do you. Okay? Spreading the love. If you have not checked it out already, the Books and Beck show on this channel, we're very happy to have our very good friend Kay join us for 2 episodes, one with Books and one with me. It wasn't planned that way. It was meant to be like 2 of the 3 of us, but I had to adult on the first one, and then the trees had begun waging chemical warfare on Books for the second one. But hopefully we can get that trios episode eventually in the future. It will happen. It will happen. So look out that. But if you haven't checked those out, go check out those ones again. So what are your thoughts on this week's discussion? I really, really want to hear your fun, not obvious, fun theories on who took out Timeless Tony Storm. The boring theories are for those boring people. We like to have some fun here and create absolute mischief. So let me know wherever. If you would so wish to leave them as a comment in the appropriate sections of wherever you are, that would be great. And while you were there, if you could please just give me a little likey, and if you're not already, a little subscribey, because that would also be really wonderful. I'd really appreciate that. Be really grateful. You can find me lurking the dark halls of Threads at Bex_Bastet. I'm also contactable on Blue Sky, Bex-Bastet. Go follow the show on TikTok. Don't call me Diva Show. Thank you very much. Thank you, as always, to Shane, my excellent producer, editor, Strudel. Apparently, this is now new law on the show. He also makes a great strudel. There we go. Promoter extraordinaire. Go check out the Ethos Media Networks YouTube channel if you would like to see some non-wrestling content. Join us at sickosclub.com and also at sickosclub on Threads. You have never met a more inclusive, smart, and talented bunch of silly sausages who also happen to really enjoy wrestling. This was, if you didn't know, don't call me Diva. My name's Wrestling Rose. Don't be a dick.